All right, guys, I got a crazy story for you today. Uh, this one kind of reinforces what I say all the time. So before we get into it, check this. Welcome back to Broken Bobby's transformation page. In the late 80s, I became involved with drugs and would eventually become part of that lifestyle of trafficking, addiction, and violence. Over the next 20 years, I would be in and out of jail and prison. If you're thinking about trying something or you're dealing with addiction, your life don't need to go down the same path mine did. I hurt a lot of people, both physically and emotionally. These are my stories of how I transformed my life, and you can too. Let's get. All right, guys, as you can see by the title and the thumbnail, even the guards aren't safe at High Desert State Prison. Now, High Desert State Prison is one of those places where, like, it's off the hook, basically. I believe there's a level 3 and there's a level 4 180 there. And that level 4 180 is one of the wildest places there are, as far as I know. From the stories I've heard, and like that's definitely not a place you want to go. You're going to get with the knife action if you go there. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Hit that like button, drop a comment, and let me know what you think. Also, share the video. Share the video. It really helps to get the message out. Hit that notification bell so that anytime I drop a new video or I go live like I did last night, you will be notified and you can hop on it when you're ready. Also, become a member of the channel. That's the best way to support the channel. Hit that join button and take a look at the options. And if you're so inclined, go ahead and make a selection. So I'm going to read this one to you. This comes straight from the CDCR press releases. And I believe Hector Bravo dropped a video on his Patreon earlier that I seen. It kind of goes hand in hand. I wasn't really paying attention to where that one was, but it kind of matches up with the story I'm about to tell. So I'm going to read from the press release and then we'll talk about it a little bit. So, Susanville, California, CDCR officials are investigating an attack on a peace officer at High Desert State Prison as an attempted unaliving. Not the actual words that they use, but YouTube don't like that other word, so you guys get the message. Anyways, on November 20th, just a couple days ago, at approximately 10:38 a.m., an incarcerated person, DeAndre Howard, was allegedly in a general population patio area when he approached a peace officer or a correctional officer and began stabbing them with an incarcerated person's manufactured weapon. Now, let me stop right there for just a minute. Like, what is up with all this politically correct speak? It was an inmate manufactured weapon. It was a knife. Like, why do they try to dress the words up to make it sound better? And as far as for the general population patio area, the best way I can describe that and what I believe they're talking about is when you're in prison, when you go to your building, a lot of times there's like an A side and a B side, like for building 1, 2, 3, whatever. When you come in, you walk along this walkway, and when you come to your building, there's like a little patio area outside with a couple of like picnic bench, stainless steel picnic bench type of things out there. And you go in, and there's a guard up in the tower that's going to buzz you in or let you in, or however that works. So I'm assuming it was in that little patio area outside the building that this occurred. Back to the story. So Howard was transferred to a different institution where he will be placed in RHU. RHU is the restricted housing unit. I guess it's the New Age SHU, which was the secure housing unit. It's like the whole, but like next level. Like a lot of times when you do something wrong, especially acts of violence, what they would do is they would send you to ADSEG or the whole. Once you go before the committee or the captain or whatever it is with the charges that are brought upon you with the 115. The 115 basically is a rules, it's a rules violation report, basically. Then they can either kick you back into population, or they can send you to the SHU during my time, or the restricted housing unit as it is known today. So it says an inmate. Now watch the verbiage here. Remember, it was a incarcerated person's manufactured weapon before. Now, same statement by the same individual that wrote the statement. An inmate manufactured weapon was found at the scene. The case was referred to the Lassen County DA's office for possible felony prosecution. Oh, he's going to be prosecuted, believe me. And I do believe that the reason that they transferred him was for his own safety, basically, because once you have something like that on you, you know, that guard has, I don't want to say homeboys, but he's got friends there. And, you know, even with the body operated cameras that they wear now, you know, maybe it didn't turn on, you know, and maybe Mr. Howard fell down the stairs 3 times would be how the report would be written, but we all know what time it is, you know? So let me give you a little background on DeAndre Howard, who's 42 years old, who was the alleged suspect in this incident. DeAndre Howard, 42, was sentenced originally to 16 months for forging a driver's license, July 23rd, 2001. Imagine that. He forged a driver's license. In today's political climate, the way things are in California, like, they probably wouldn't even have taken him to jail for that. But, you know, he got 16 months for that, and he would end up being released, and he would be received again on November 6, 2003, to serve life without the possibility of parole for a first degree and an attempted first degree unaliving. So, did that original trip to prison, you know, project him down that path? Maybe, you know, but, you know, what would make him take it to this level? You know, I don't know. High Desert is a super active prison, and anytime you do a list of, you know, the most dangerous places, High Desert's definitely high ranking when it comes to that. And I may be doing a video a little bit later in the week on the most dangerous prisons. I was considering that, and then I ran across this article. So I said, you know what, let me do this one first, because there's, you know, it's a trip that he got sentenced to 16 months for forging a driver's license, first trip to prison. Then 2 years later, you know, he got life without parole. Did he, you know, was he a gang member in LA before the first sentence? I don't know, you know, but the thing is, like, this is the kind of stuff that's going on in prison today, guys. And I'll tell you, they did this end of hostilities agreement about 10 years ago. And when you don't have an enemy, a common enemy in prison, you start looking at other things, because if you're a killer, basically, and you know, that's the type of person you are, you gangbang. I'm not saying Mr. Howard gangbanged, but, you know, a lot of the people that are in California prisons are living that lifestyle. So, you know, in my time, there were wars, there were year-long lockdowns, there were all of these type of things between groups. Now you don't have these issues between the groups, because there's this peace agreement, this end all hostilities. And now they're cannibalizing on each other. You know, the most dangerous person to a white man in prison is another white man. And I'm sure that is true for all the other races as well. So if you're not worried about what the other group is doing, then you start worrying about your own people, or you start attacking cops or correctional officers. You know, it. I do believe that the Department of Corrections would love to go back to locking up all the big homies, if you will, and ending this end to all hostilities, because there's so much attention being paid to the correctional officers now as well. Not to mention, in the last year, there's been 57, 58 unalivings in the California Department of Corrections. And I bet you if you go back through the press releases and look at all of them, everybody that got unalived by somebody that looked just like them. If you follow what I'm saying, before, like I said, when I was doing time, we had enemies of the other groups, not necessarily enemies, but opposition. And at any time it could go up, and all you could rely on was the people that looked like you. And now, with the end all hostilities, all the attention's on the cops and all the attention's on people that look just like you, basically. If you're going to have a problem in the Department of Corrections today, it seems you're going to have a problem with your own people. So if you're living that lifestyle, I suggest that you look to make some changes, because you don't want to end up in one of these places and potentially end up like Mr. Howard, or the 57, 58 other people that didn't make it back in the last year at the hands of their own people. And a lot of it is drug debt, just breaking unwritten rules, stuff like that, just pissing off the wrong guy. And now a lot of these people aren't coming home. So I will say this: you are definitely worth getting sober, and you're worth it. I believe in you. Nobody ever thought I would get clean. And look at me now, 20 years later, still going strong. So if you have doubts about whether you can do it or not, you can definitely do it. Find a meeting, find some people that are going to support you in this journey of sobriety. That way, when you have a bad day or you stumble a little bit, they can help you move in the right direction and not help you go find a sack, which is what all my friends, alleged friends, when I was in addiction, would do. So I hope everybody's having a great week and you're ready for Thanksgiving. I know I am. Unfortunately, I'm going to be at work this week. So it is what it is. You got to pay the bills. You got to keep the lights on, and that's what it's going to take this year. So that's what I'm going to do. But family, fitness, and freedom are the things that help me to get my life together, and they can help you as well. And don't forget the man upstairs. He's definitely looking out for us. Children and fools, they say. I was definitely a fool, but here I am telling you guys the story. So, like I said, you can definitely do it. You just got to make up your mind that you want to do it. If you're not ready, I get it. Go do your thing. I'll still be here hopefully when you make up your mind that you are ready. And like I said, find a meeting or something. You won't believe how much it will help. You'll probably go to that first meeting and think this is lame, but just keep going, and you're going to learn some things. So that is my story for the day. I hope you guys liked it. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. If you don't like the way I rock back and forth too much, as somebody commented in a previous video, then give it a thumbs down. Either way, drop a comment and tell me why you give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And, this was a crazy story. I don't know what to say about it, but, drop a comment, hit that that notification bell so that anytime I go live or I drop a new video, you'll be informed. You can check it out when you're ready. Also, become a member. That is the best way to support Broken Bobby's transformation. And, hit that join button and check it out. I really appreciate it. So, we'll leave it at that. Like I said, I believe in you. You're definitely worth it. So find a meeting and don't look at the mountain. Just start climbing.